Hey everyone, welcome back. We've had a little hiatus the last couple weeks, and now we're back with a new Sunday Gospel reflection. This one is for the 11th Sunday in Ordinary Time. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark. Jesus said to the crowds, "This is how it is with the kingdom of God. It is as if a man were to scatter seed on the land and would sleep and rise night and day, and through it all the seed would sprout and grow. He knows not how. Of its own accord the land yields fruit, first the blade, then the ear, then the full grain in the ear. And when the grain is ripe, he wields the sickle at once, for the harvest has come." He said, "To what shall we compare the kingdom of God? Or what parable can we use for it? It is like a mustard seed that when it is sown in the ground is the smallest of all the seeds on the earth. But once it is sown, it springs up and becomes the largest of plants and puts forth large branches so that the birds of the sky can dwell in its shade." With many such parables he spoke the word to them, as they were able to understand it. Without parables he did not speak to them, but to his own disciples he explained everything in private. The Gospel of the Lord. So we hear these two images in this week's Gospel of the kingdom of God. So we might ask ourselves, what is the kingdom of God? We know earthly kingdoms. We know the United Kingdom, for example, of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. So we know that a kingdom is a territory that's governed by a monarch. But the kingdom of God is different than that. Because the kingdom of God does not show up on a map. It doesn't have a geographic territory. It doesn't have boundaries that we can see. The kingdom of God, then, is a different kind of reality. We recall that when Jesus stood before Pontius Pilate on the day that he died, Pilate was questioning him about his kingship. And Jesus said, "My kingdom is not here. If it were, right, my soldiers would be defending me and would be trying to prevent this from happening. But as it is, my kingdom is not here." So where is the kingdom of God? The kingdom of God is present wherever the will of God is done. So what does that mean? Because we know we are called to build up the kingdom of God. Well, it means we're called to live in God's will, to align ourselves, our choices, our actions, our desires with God's vision for reality. The vision, the plan with which he created all things. So participating in the kingdom of God is participating as fully as we can in the plan that God has made for his creation. And the images that we here in this gospel kind of refer to that. The farmer who sows the seed and allows things to develop and take root and take shape. The little seed that over time grows and becomes the greatest of plants. The kingdom of God is unfolding with the passage of time. And the invitation and the call to us is always to be participants in it by responding to the Lord's invitation, by responding to his teaching to love our God and to love our neighbor as ourselves. And when we do that, we make the kingdom of God present here and now. We extend the reign of God on the earth. And we begin already to participate in the eternal kingdom because there is no division. Since it's not a geographic territory, it's also not limited. It's not limited by time or space. And so we become participants in a heavenly, eternal reality, which we hope to partake of in its fullness when our time here is done.